Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Coming off a devastating wildfire season, Congressman Greg Gianforte was in Columbia Falls today, making a push for forest management. Today, Gianforte visited Stoltz Land and Lumber Company in Columbia Falls. Gianforte praised the lumber company for creating jobs, livelihood in the community, and healthier forests for more than 100 years. His visit is part of his Forest Jobs Tour that began last week in Helena to, quote, shine a light on the devastation that occurred this year across the state due to these destructive wildfires. He says it's important to manage forests, which is why he sponsored the Realist Federal Forest Act. The bill allows for the reduction of fuels in the forest, which Gianforte says will help create healthier forests, more wildlife sporting opportunities, jobs in the timber industry, and a reduction in the intensity and frequency of these wildfires.
I'm very pleased to be sponsoring this legislation with Bruce Westerman from Arkansas. He's a forester. He understands these issues, and through talking about the disaster we had this past summer, we're raising awareness. Now is the time to act on forest management.
And so far on his tour, Gianforte has made stops in Bozeman, Missoula, Knowlton, and Miles City. Montanans who were told several days ago that their Verizon service would be terminated in October can breathe a little easier as the company has partially rescinded its decision. Verizon said earlier this month that it was cutting service to customers whose primary place of using their phones was outside the company's service area. However, Montana Senator John Tester said in a press release on Friday that he received assurances from Verizon that no Montanans will be involuntarily removed from their contract. Verizon now says that it is extending the deadline to switch providers to December 1st and letting some customers stay on the network, although they must switch to a new service plan. It's been a gloomy week for the region, but we may be in store for some nicer weather this weekend. For more on that, we'll take it over to Chief Meteorologist Erin Yost for a look at her first forecast. Erin?
That's right, Don. And you know, today we didn't fare too badly. We could have seen some moisture, I guess you could say, but a lot of that stayed much further to the south and definitely to the east of us. We could see a little bit of that sneaking in here over the next couple of hours, but our chances of getting in on this precipitation with our current system starting to diminish quite rapidly. We do have winter weather advisories out through midnight tonight for southwest Montana above 5,000 feet. We, though, are already starting our clearing and drying trend, and it will continue to spread towards the south and the east here as we move throughout the overnight hours and into the first part of the day tomorrow. And then everybody will be kind of like we've been over the last couple of days on the drier side. The full forecast coming up.
Salute to Service is brought to you by Flathead Electric Cooperative, your not-for-profit member-owned co-op.
Salute to Service, MTN's Jack Ginsburg honors the 3 separate police departments that worked with the FBI, NSA, and other international agencies to bring safety to the Flathead Valley after a series of cyber threats last week.
Rarely do we come together in a major case like this that imminently affects all of us, or at least there are threats to all of our schools in both the county and the 3 incorporated cities.
Last week, a wave of cyber threats to multiple schools across the Flathead Valley prompted Whitefish, Kalispell, and Columbia Falls police departments to work with the Flathead County Sheriff's Office to find out if there was any physical threat to students at these schools. Separate police departments do work together sometimes, but it is rare that they are forced to work this closely on a case.
We're very fortunate. We have a good working relationship. We know each other well. But it's instances like this when that working relationship gets put to a test.
Not only did the 3 cities' departments' relationship help in the case, but the relationship with the FBI as well.
We have a great working relationship with the FBI. They really stepped up to the plate in this case as well. So it's great, and the foundation we build for those relationships really do pay off in instances like this.
After the physical threat was determined to be non-existent, Flathead Valley Superintendent Jack Agensberger says that law enforcement did incredible work bringing normalcy back to the school year.
It was really a great opportunity for pulling everybody together. Law enforcement did a fantastic job, and I just can't thank them enough for all that they did.
In Kalispell, Jack Ginsburg, MTN News.
And the investigation is now being looked at as an extortion case, and law enforcement is still working to find the people responsible for sending these threats. A woman is charged with 2 counts of murder for the death of 2 people in the Frenchtown area in 2013, and she says she's not guilty. 51-year-old Caressa Hardy pled not guilty to 2 counts of deliberate homicide in Missoula District Court. Hardy is accused of killing Thomas Korjak and Robert Orsko in 2013, but the deaths were not reported to law enforcement until 2016, leading to a lengthy investigation. Investigators were unable to find the bodies, but are confident that the forensic evidence they've obtained is sufficient, and her next court appearance has been scheduled for mid-November. People in Mexico are still holding out hope that missing relatives will be found after Tuesday's massive earthquake. Chris Martinez has the latest from Mexico City.
Crews used picks and hammers at the site of this demolished building in Mexico City, yelling through the crack to see if anyone was trapped inside. This man has been using a dog for help. We have been here since the first day, he says. To date, we have taken out 10 people. In areas that look like war zones, searchers aren't giving up. Many have been climbing up piles of rubble like this one as anxious families wait nearby. This worker was overcome with emotion thinking about those affected. What if it's your brother in there, he says. I think all you want is to see him alive.
Volunteers from around the world are stepping up to assist with the rescue efforts here in Mexico City. Nearly all of them ordinary men and women who just want to help.
32-year-old Marco Rodriguez is a computer engineer who's been lining up to volunteer since the earthquake hit. Each one is told to write their name and emergency contact on their arm in case they're injured or killed, searching for survivors.
Why did you want to volunteer to do this?
Because this is my country and I need to help my people.
All of this is donated.
All of this is donated.
A block away, this nonprofit group is gathering badly needed supplies for victims, from bottled water to clothing. Mexico's President Enrique Peña Nieto believes there could be people still trapped in the ruins. He says rescue efforts won't stop until they're found. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Mexico City.
And Tuesday's quake came on the exact anniversary of the 1985 quake after drills had been conducted throughout the day. The new iPhone 8 started selling in stores on Friday. The release of a new Apple device usually brings lots of long lines in anticipation, but that wasn't the case this year. Kenneth Craig reports from New York.
In Japan, only a handful of people lined up for the new iPhone 8 outside this Tokyo Apple store. In Sydney, Australia, buyers of the new device seemed less than enthusiastic about it.
It's not much of an upgrade. In my opinion, it shouldn't have been called an 8, it should have been called a 7S.
It was a similar scene in New York.
Are you excited for the new iPhone?
Not really, no.
I'm neutral. I just need a new phone.
Stores worldwide are seeing fewer people. Laura Rivera got her pre-ordered iPhone in just 20 minutes.
I was a little bit surprised about that. Also, I think last year when the 7 came out, there were actually people camping out here for days.
Analysts say pre-orders for the iPhone 8 were lower than they were for the iPhone 7 and iPhone 6. The reason why? Many fans are holding out for the next iPhone, which goes on sale in just a couple of months. CNET's Alfred Eng says the iPhone 10 will go on sale in early November.
Despite a lot of similarities, the iPhone 10 actually does have some features that the iPhone 8 isn't going to have, with augmented reality, with facial recognition. The full screen, I think, is a big selling point for a lot of people.
But those features come at a cost. The iPhone 10 starts at $999, $300 more than the iPhone 8.
I decided to go with this one. I just didn't think the 10 was really worth the extra money.
The question now, will other Apple fans believe the iPhone 10 is worth the price and the wait? Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
And coming up later, meteorologist Aaron Yost will have your first forecast. And a photographer shares with us the last photos taken of the Sperry Chalet before it was destroyed by the Sprague Fire. We'll have that story coming up on KAJ.